think if Anthony Joshua is going to fight again, which does seem the option, the big option that obviously has been mentioned by Frank Smith, and when I spoke to Adam Smith yesterday in Sheffield, his big point was he should sit back, maybe have a quick holiday before Christmas to Saudi. There's some big fight going on over there. If people haven't heard already, Fury versus Usyk 2. You should see what happens with that and then go from there. But one thing that I've been thinking is there still the hype for Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury? In one sense, there is, in that it's a fight that's been talked about for so long, and it's a fight that's always going to be thought about, especially when you look at it from a casual boxing fan's perspective. But then you think of it from the other perspective of what it could have been and when we didn't get it. So if AJ isn't going to wait for the Fury Usyk winner, then I guess. I mean, I know some. I think Frank Warren said maybe fight Fabio Wardley. I'm not sure about that. I don't really see who else he could fight away from the Dubois rematch. I don't really know who is out there for AJ because, 1 minute you're saying we need to take him straight back into the rematch. There's a prime opportunity to become a 3-time heavyweight world champion. But the belts are tied up. Maybe they wait and see what happens once Usyk Fury plays out again, and then the belts start to fragment even more. I'm not too sure. I'd say if there's anyone that I'd like to see Anthony Joshua face, though, the one fight that I think will always be there, it has to be the Wilder fight for Anthony Joshua. That Wilder fight, and especially when we thought we were there back in December after the Otto Wallin fight, and then Wilder loses. Obviously, it all goes falling down. But now that AJ has lost again as well, it brings them back on a similar path. And I do think if any fight is out there that is going to sell, and I guess you could see warrant a fight that, again, you could say it puts them both back in a world title picture. Whoever wins, it kind of has that effect. It's such big names. So I guess I'd say AJ versus Wilder next if it's not going to be Dubois.
Yeah, I mean, Wilder is certainly the one that sort of leaps to the page, isn't it? Parker and Wardley are probably at the front of the queue for Daniel Dubois. Certainly Parker is. I don't know whether the Joshua Wilder fight is now a Wembley fight. We know, I don't want to say they were certainly weren't struggling for tickets with Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois, but after he's taken another loss, and I know we spoke to some fans outside the arena following the fight, and a lot of fans were down on Anthony Joshua's performance, and I think a lot of fans, after seeing what Daniel Dubois did to him on that night, they probably don't have the belief that Anthony Joshua can go back and win the world title. And if he's not going to go back and win a world title, I mean, why would 80,000 plus people, 90,000 people attend a fight between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder? It's an absolutely fantastic fight for the division. And I would have to say, if there's anything on the line, it's both of the fighters' careers. Whoever was to lose that fight, certainly, in my mind anyway, wouldn't fight again. I know we spoke to Malik Scott, who of course works with Deontay Wilder, about the future of the Bronze Bomber last week, or Radio Rahim had that conversation. And yeah, he believes that Wilder will be back in the ring. No sort of clue as to who that will be yet. They seem keen on the Anthony Joshua fight. And if that is to be made, maybe now is the perfect time for that. The one thing I will say is we saw the amount of power that Daniel Dubois had, and the effect that had on AJ. We know Wilder as an absolutely huge puncher on his day, certainly at his peak. Would there be a possibility of Wilder to be able to do the same job on Anthony Joshua? I'm not sure. I'm just sort of putting it out there. As far as the Joshua Fury fight goes, I think the value of that fight is diminishing sort of by the week at the moment. When they were number 1 and 2 in the division and they both had world titles, that fight was absolutely huge. It was the biggest fight in world boxing. But now you've got Fury coming off a loss to Alexander Usyk, AJ coming off another loss in his career to Daniel Dubois, as he was the challenger in that world title fight. With no world titles on the lines, it could be the number 2, or some people might see Fury as number 3 in the division against Anthony Joshua, who considered maybe 4 or 5 in the heavyweight division. If you're looking at a number 2 versus number 4, or number 3 versus number 4 in the division, is that a bigger fight, as big a fight as it once was? Absolutely not, in my opinion. And with the upcoming Usyk versus Fury rematch, if Fury loses that, then there's absolutely no telling what direction Fury's going to go into. So, yeah, I think there's a possibility that we've lost that one, but hopefully a big fight can be resurrected for Anthony Joshua sometime next year. We'll just go back to the chat. And Thunder Road, nice to see you in the chat once again. Damn, the 2 Joshes on Seconds Out Live. Reminds me of Arsenal's League Cup lineup under Arsene Wenger. I'm reminiscing and just hit the thumbs up. Yes, we are the reserves. We've mentioned that a couple of times, but grateful for the opportunity today to take the hot seat of Danny Flexen and Eamon Khan. And thank you once again for directing people to the thumbs up button. DB Cooper 1 replying to Big Chungus regarding the ladder behind Josh. Josh, ladder behind you?
It's just a little ladder to a storage unit. Yeah. I'm more concerned. Yeah, got a few bits up there, just painting the wall. If we look a little bit further down the chat, I actually get accused of being a drug dealer again. For the God knows how many live and around. To be honest, I'm just going to say this now. This might be one of the most horrific chats I've ever seen and stuff directed at me. I just feel abused at this point. Well, Josh, if you just keep reading through and just see the conversation that's been going on in this chat, you'll be a little bit concerned.
I will ignore much of that conversation, I'm sure. Toby Bartlett says, if more people subscribe, then shouldn't have to raise the prices too much higher. So maybe they can keep the prices down, similar to Turkey's way of thinking. Yeah, we certainly hope the next coming Riyadh season card, the CBS versus Zerdo Ramirez card, that'll be free, I believe, on Sky Sports Boxing, which is absolutely fantastic to see, and keep them coming, although I can't see any other Riyadh season shows in the future being free to air. Could be wrong, though. Happy to be proved wrong. DB Cooper 1 says, DAZN, the home of boxing, Saudi Pro League, Women's Champions League. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean when I was saying before, the sort of amount of different sports on the DAZN app is pretty bleak, to be honest. Unless you're a big boxing fan, that is certainly the only reason you would want to subscribe to that. If I just scroll here, Ramoni Mode XD says DAZN has GBM, mate. Yeah, DBM is very much on DAZN. They announced their signing of Shakan Pitters yesterday, who, speaking to him, he will be in a European title fight very, very soon, hopefully before the New Year's. And Barno Love says any pay-per-view worthy fighters at Sky could leave very soon if they stick around. I actually heard Fraser Clark speaking with, I believe it was with Box Nation, although don't quote me on that one, saying that he wasn't there just last week to support his gym mate Ezra Taylor. He was there for conversations. So yeah, just interesting comments there from Fraser Clark. Who knows what conversations he was having? Obviously, it was a Queensberry and Frank Warren card. So yeah, maybe there were some conversations. Maybe there weren't. DB Cooper 1 says, I used to love GBM2 until they joined DAZN. Now it's hidden away. They should have waited to replace TNT or join Sky. I think GBM is doing a great job at the moment, to be honest. I was at their show in Sheffield a few weeks back. It was the day before the rescheduled Dalton Smith card in Sheffield at Terry Harper against Rhiannon Dixon. It was a fantastic card, a card really deep with quality. The main event wasn't a cracker. It was Shaquille Thompson versus River Wilson Bent, but some of the stuff in the undercard was superb. Ryan Walsh and Reese Mould, Hughie Fury in a step up, it has to be said, against Christian Tunn. A number of their other prospects on the card, a British women's title fight. I think GBM are doing some really good shows at the moment, and hopefully, being on DAZN enables them to do some good ones in the future. Thunder Road says GBM puts on an entertaining show. I like Izzy's personality and charisma, linking up with Adam Smith, and Talksport doesn't hurt either. What else have we got here? Deary me, I see what you were saying here, Josh. We will scroll right through that to Zambano Love, who says, think constant rematch clauses have put the public off. Every AJ fight since losing to Ruiz was promoted as a must win. Gets fans falsely invested to find out the result. Doesn't matter because of a rematch. Yeah, I mean,